What makes a crew member respect an officer? Every officer on board wears a stripe on their shoulders. Every officer has an authority. But not every officer earns respect. The difference between genuine respect and the respect just to comply can determine the effectiveness, the efficiency, the safety, and the entire morale of the shipboard team. Rank gives authority, while the character earns respect. Our rank on board make the people obey, but our character makes the people follow. When a cadet or a seaman got promoted to become an officer, for example, from the AB, promoted to become a third officer, or from the oiler, promoted to become a fourth engineer, by that moment, authority comes together automatically with the position. Crew members are expected to follow instructions because of the chain of command. However, true leadership goes beyond authority. The crew may obey an officer because they have to, but they respect an officer because they choose to. Respect is something that we should not be demanded. Respect is earned daily through our consistent behavior. Crew members watch how we behave on board, our professionalism, and how we respond to every situations, especially on the situations where stressful and we are under pressure. And lastly, respect is earned through integrity. Crew members watch if our actions are perfectly aligned with our words. Respect begins with competence. If the officer knows exactly what to do, he earns more respect than the one who doesn't know his job. One of the fastest ways to earn respect on board is through competence. The crew observe everything. When I was a chief officer, I had this bosun who was very notorious by the way how he treated the crew, and also known for being disrespectful to the deck officers. I was just 3 days on board, and one morning while we are on the dry dock, I caught him shouting and speaking foul language to an OS who was just finished his watch from midnight until 6 a.m. Immediately right after the incident, I talked to him in a private, just the two of us, and I told him that I didn't like the way how he treated the OS. I give him an advice on what to do next if he observed the actions of the OS, something that he doesn't like. I explained to him what are my goals and my visions for all of them. And I didn't expect that he listened to me or understand me what I have said at that very moment. But as time goes by, while we are working together, I didn't remember anything that I don't like with that bosun. In fact, when he was about to sign off, he never left the ship without coming to see me and say goodbye as a sign of respect before he disembarked. Crew members really understand if the officers knows exactly the operations, the cargo work, the safety procedures, the maintenance, the navigation, and the emergency response. Nobody expects perfection, but they expect professionalism. When the crew members knows exactly that their officer is knowledgeable and capable, confidence naturally follow. Competence creates credibility. Crew members are watching what you do. They didn't judge your words. They judge your actions. For example, if the master is implementing no use of mobile phone while on the bridge, but he himself is using his mobile phone while he is on the bridge, chances are officers and crew might also use their mobile phone on the bridge without the master's presence. An officer who talks safety but he himself ignores the procedures, immediately the credibility is lost. Leadership on board is highly visible. If an officer expects discipline from the crew members, he himself must demonstrate first discipline by himself. People on board follow example more than the instructions. Fairness builds trust. Treat everyone on board equally. Avoid favoritism, because one of the strongest foundation of respect is fairness. Crew members notice early when the rules or standards are applied differently to different people. Favoritism damages morale and creates division. I remember sailing with a master who gave us strong instructions to our cook not to allow a crew members of a specific nationality to enter inside the galley. When I heard those instructions, when I heard those words from the cook, I immediately lost my respect to that master. Not because of his rank or his experience or his competence, but because leadership should not be influenced by nationality or prejudice. That experience reminds me that fairness greatly matters on board. A respected officer treats everyone fairly regardless of rank, age, sex, religion, or the nationalities. Fairness sends a message. Everyone deserves equal respect on board. Communications build trust. Many of the shipboard problems begin with poor communications. I remember when I was a shipmate, there is a second officer who frequently corrected an AB for sitting near the gangway during cargo operations. The issue was very minor, but the problem is how the message is being delivered. Because neither side is communicated effectively, the situation escalated to the point where they almost had a physical confrontation. Even months of sailing together, the relationship never fully recovered. That experience taught me that communication is not just only speaking. Communication is by making sure that the message is delivered properly, appropriately, and well understood. A good officer explains the expectations properly, while the great officers make sure that people understand them. Calmness during pressure. Leadership is tested during difficult situations. Anyone can appear calm when situations goes according to plan. But the test comes when things go wrong. I remember sailing with a very experienced master whom I admired greatly. What impressed me most is not his technical knowledge. It is his calmness. No matter how challenging the situation is, I never see him panic, I never seen him complain or raise his voice unnecessarily. He remained focused on the solution. His calmness influenced everyone on board. Because just as panic is spread on board quickly, confidence is spread quickly as well. Some of the officers believe that leadership means having always an answer. But in reality, it's different. The most respected leaders are the one who is willing to learn. I've worked many ratings on board that has more practical knowledge than the officers. For example, I have one oiler that possesses more practical machinery knowledge than the junior engineers. I work a bosun that can solve deck problems more than the young officers struggled with. There's one incident that stayed with me involving an AB who was previously mentored by myself. I trained that AB to become an officer. One evening on the bridge, together with him is the second officer. During their watch from 12 until 4 o'clock, there is an equipment alarm on board that the second officers hardly recognized the source. The AB made a suggestion to the second officer. Instead of listening to the suggestions of the AB, the second officer responded, "Why should I listen you? You are just an AB." That response ended immediately the opportunity to learn. Remember that leadership is not always having an answers. Leadership also is having a willingness to listen and to learn. Experience does not always come with the person in rank. Sometimes the best ideas may come from the people we least expect. So therefore, open your mind or open yourself to become willing to learn from anyone. Respect deepens when crew members feel valued as a human being. Leadership on board is not only about the checklist, the procedures, and the ship's operations. It is also about taking care of the people on board. Your simple actions may create a powerful impact. Like for example, checking on a crew members who seems tired, or recognizing or appreciating a hard work, giving thanks to the team after a successful PEC inspections, after having a zero deficiency during plug state inspections or the classification surveys, that you made it a success. Offering a support when someone is struggling personal challenges. People often forget instructions, but they rarely forget how they were treated. Respect is not built in a single day. It is built through consistency. Since I become a chief officer and now serving as a master, I always made it to a point to conduct a meeting during my first week on board a ship. During that meeting, I clearly explained my expectations from them and what they can expect from me. I tell them what are my goals, what are my visions, and what are my standards. I make sure that it is clear to them. I want my people to learn who I am, how I lead, what are my standards that I try to maintain. Consistency creates predictability, and predictability creates trust. And trust eventually becomes respect. People may respect you because of your rank. But remember, rank alone is the lowest form of leadership. The strongest form of leadership is built in trust, influence, and respect. The crew may respect your stripes on your shoulders by the time you step on board, but they will respect your character all throughout the rest of the voyage.